Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about back-to-back and batched orders on Uber Eats. So with Uber Eats, there are two types of orders you can receive on top of your normal orders. They're batched orders and back-to-back orders. And I made a video talking about stacked orders in the past, but you know what? There has been a few updates since then, so I think it's important to go over it again to talk about some of those updates. So with that said, I want to go over everything that needs to be said about back-to-back and batched orders according to Uber Eats, as well as how it actually is in comparison to what they tell you, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. While accepting delivery orders, you may encounter different situations. Back-to-back orders happen when you accept future requests while still finishing your current order. Batched orders are when you accept multiple orders for delivery from the same restaurant or merchant. Now, there are actually times where you can get a batched order as a back-to-back order as well. Sometimes batched orders are really worth it, and sometimes they're just not. Same goes for back-to-back orders. Back-to-back orders. When making a delivery, you may receive a request for another order. If you accept, the details will be added to your queue. Once you complete your current delivery, the app will automatically navigate you to your next location. And you will be able to see that queue through the almost semicolon hamburger menu on the right-hand side of your screen in the bottom corner. You can click on it and see what your next thing will be next. That being said, however, you can't change the tasks as you receive them. Like, I know on DoorDash you could kind of pick up one side and then come back to the other at a different point, but that's not possible for Uber Eats. You have your step, you must complete the step before moving on to the next one. You can't just rearrange them. It's kind of silly in my opinion. Batched orders. You may receive a request if there's another order for delivery from the same restaurant or merchant. You'll get a notification asking you to accept or decline the second order. You can pick up all your orders from the same restaurant or merchant. This is actually not 100% true. You can actually end up getting two orders from two different merchants in a single order. Usually it's two restaurants that are near each other. Maybe the restaurant is on the route to the next order, and maybe they're just trying to get a no-tip customer's order delivered while having a tipped customer delivered in the same general area. And honestly, I think it's sneaky and manipulative that they say it like this, but it is how they say it. Frequently asked questions. What if one of my customers cancels? There's a possibility that an order you accept gets canceled by the restaurant and the customer. If an order gets canceled after you pick it up from a restaurant, you will receive the full fare that includes the estimated pickup fee, drop-off fee, and distance fee. When an order gets canceled, the order disappears from your app and returns to your home screen. In these instances, it's up to you to dispose of the food. I have had customers that cancel my order not too long after I accept it. Sometimes because the restaurant is closed. Sometimes it's because they're waiting too long. It's a really frustrating situation for all parties involved. In fact, I had a first watch delivery. It was a batched order where one of the orders was ready and the other order was taking so long. The order that was ready ended up delaying the order so badly they couldn't do their job. It was embarrassing. The wheat toast was taking too long. Bull crap, the wheat toast was taking too long. You were delaying the order intentionally. We could tell the difference. What if I can't find my first customer and this causes a delay for my second order? If you're unable to find the customer when delivering, you could try calling them. If they don't answer, you could tap the banner that appears to indicate that they didn't answer. This will send them a notification. If they don't contact you quickly, you can follow the prompts to end the delivery. You'll get paid for the second order when you complete the delivery. Basically, you gotta let the 8-minute timer run out. You hit the leave at door prompt, then you move on to the next delivery. What's amazing also is when that happens, and then after all is said and done, then the customer calls you back. Oh, where's my order? Well, it's at the gate because you didn't want to call me with the gate code, you bitch. Can I opt out of receiving multiple delivery requests on one trip completely? No, the app doesn't currently have the functionality to opt you out of receiving multiple delivery delivery requests on one trip. However, you can decline to accept or cancel any delivery request, including another delivery request on the same trip. So there's no opt-out function for stacked orders. However, if you receive a single delivery, you can stop requests and then you will stop receiving requests while you're on that delivery. I've done that. It actually saves me so much on my cancel rate, and honestly, I think that's something people should be doing, especially if they find themselves accidentally accepting orders because you're trying to text a customer saying you're there, or you're going through the app and it almost like it sneaks it in on you. It's ridiculous. Although I will say it is pretty messed up that they say that they currently don't have the functionality to opt you out, even though we both know that it's never gonna happen that way. They're never gonna make that function because that's the only way they're gonna get no-tip customers to get their orders delivered. Now I have a few side notes that I would like to go over on stacked deliveries. Why your cancel rate goes up. As we all know, with cancel ratings being introduced to a lot of markets on Uber Eats, you can end up getting a batched order or even accidentally take a back-to-back order. And because of that, you may end up unassigning those orders if you accidentally accept them, especially when they're trying to slip them in on you. Like you're in the middle of writing a note to the customer and then they send you like a $4.50 order going 6 miles while you're in the middle of finishing a delivery, or you're trying to take the contactless delivery photo, and because you're trying to hit the camera button, you end up accepting an order because they tried to slip it in. It is really manipulative. It is really frustrating. It messes up the entire system, and yes, your rating is still going to go up because of that. And it's disgusting because you don't want to have to do that. You don't want to have to accept an order and then unassign it, but that's what happens. Triple batches available. So in my last video on stacked orders, I said I never received a stacked order for more than 3 unless it was like a Walmart order. But since that video, Walmart orders haven't really been on Uber Eats or DoorDash. I think all their deliveries are basically on Walmart Spark at this point. And then there is the point that triple batches are now introduced on a regular basis. Triple batches is where you can actually take up to 3 different orders to 3 different customers, sometimes 2 different customers, depending on how they lay that out for you. But either way, you can make a good amount of money through those orders, but it's still going to take a lot of time because you have 3 different pickups. Sometimes they're all at the same merchant, sometimes they're not, and 3 different drop-offs. Sometimes 2 because some people go with, I wanted 7-Eleven and a restaurant meal, but that's not always the case. But just understand with triple batches, there's triple base pay and then triple hidden tips, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on in this video. Trip radar and batched orders. So trip radar is something that was introduced to Uber Eats not too long ago. It's something that Trip Radar has been consistently doing, and it's kind of frustrating for me at least, is that they will actually have a specific set of miles in this Trip Radar set, and as well as the amount you'll be currently paid. And let's say it's a batched order, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. They will play with the mileage based on what would actually be accepted. And it's kind of sad that they have to do that just to get some orders accepted. In fact, Zach Drives Fast actually made a video talking specifically about how somebody he knew ended up getting a really, like, this is how many miles it was supposed to be to do this order, and this is how it actually turned out, being like almost twice the miles or something like that. That's pretty scary. That could really mess up somebody's dollars to mile ratio. And honestly, I think Uber Eats overall has been kind of out of hand with it, but who am I to argue with how Uber Eats operates, right? No route available for back-to-back orders. This actually goes for Trip Radar as well, but if you're in the middle of an order, they're not gonna show you the route in order for you to actually accept the next order. They're just gonna show you where you are in comparison to where the restaurant is, and sometimes it doesn't even show you that. That's why I'm always hesitant to even take back-to-back orders, because, like, if I don't know where I'm going, why would I accept those orders? That doesn't even make sense. Now, if the mileage and the payout was right, sure, But usually when I see those back-to-back orders, it's $4.50 going 10 miles. It's $3 for 3 miles or something to that effect. It's kind of ridiculous. Sure, Uber Eats is better about paying you for your actual mileage than DoorDash is, but that doesn't make it right to play with the miles like that, especially since we know since that Uber is playing with the miles. I personally wouldn't recommend doing a stacked order, doing a back-to-back order, unless the mileage is so low and the payout is so high in comparison. Hidden tips and stacked orders. I touched on this a little bit, but I think we need to go over it. For a single order, the hidden tip system works as follows. You will be able to see up to $8 worth of the first order. So let's say a single order going 1.5 miles, paying out $10, the base pay is $2, and they're showing you up to $8 worth of the tip. There could be a hidden tip behind there. We don't know that for sure yet, but it's always going to be up to $8. Now, let's say it's a stacked order, 2 orders now, but this time it's $20 for the 2 orders. They're showing you the 2 base pays together, plus $8 worth of the hidden tips. Now, let's say the hidden tip system is showing you a $15 stacked order, right? And the base pay is the same. And could there be a hidden tip in one of those 2 orders? Yes, because it's showing up to $8 worth of one order and up to a certain amount with the second order. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the payout is going to be more. It's potential to be more, but honestly, I still wouldn't mess with that. Unless you know that both orders have hidden tips, personally. That's my opinion. I think I explained it better in my other video on stacked orders. I'm going to leave that in the description as well as my video on the hidden tip system. Feel free to check both of those out. And also, if it's a triple stack, it's going to be the same thing except 3 times. Batched orders and back-to-back orders canceled. So let's say you accidentally accept a back-to-back batched order. It's 2 orders for $9 going 11 miles because that's how terrible the order was and they kind of slipped it in while you were texting the customer. You are going to receive twice as much cancellation rate increase from that alone than any other order because that's how it ended up slipping into your system. It's wrong, it's disgusting, but honestly, it just sounds very Uber. So make sure you are very careful not to accidentally accept orders and make sure you're actually utilize the stop request button if you have to. Some more worth it than others. Like I said, there are some back-to-back orders that are worth it. There are some batched orders that are worth it. You gotta be careful on which ones you actually take. Now, personally, I almost never see a triple batch that's actually worth it, but I have seen double batches that are worth it. I have seen back-to-back orders that are worth it. So make sure you really decide what kind of orders you're really looking to take on all of these apps because the point of these apps is to make as much money as possible. So really decide what kind of orders are worth it and what aren't. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else about Uber Eats and stacked orders that we haven't gone over in this video or my last video? Let me know in the comments. Let's make sure that everybody knows everything they need to know about stacked orders and they can make as much money as possible in the least amount of time. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.